This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our Supreme and Master Speakers, Circa Barrakill, Remy Asalia, Saray Cypher, Omeji Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Nina Grimstarter, Casey Schaefer, Daimos, Cecirifula Lirifu, Lily Black, Hans Grenade, Sampa Chakwatol, Asucha Starbreeze, Faris Gentoru, Cletus Oreo, Quick Levin, Sayuri Snowfall, Luke Leonatrell, Stella Bell, Ceres, Icy Lee, Lyria Rain, Pamela Isley, Umbral Wynn, Naive Arino, Celeste Razgris, Elenriel Maximus, Edwin, Bob Cece, Celestia, and Fabson Voidworm. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/speakersxiv. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, AR students. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 179. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Rollo Des, Georgi Wiston, and Malavanadar. Sometimes I get like a few seconds into Georgi's frame. I don't know why that's.
I have the Rollo caught drinking.
Yeah,
I know.
so ready for everything. Welcome, everyone. This is Speakers of Eidolon again. Main topics today. We have a Yoshi-P interview by Trusted Reviews, which I still think, if you call your website Trusted Reviews...
you can trust them.
I get a little suspicious. We'll talk about Valentione's Day 2020. It's a bit different this year. I feel like Valentione's Days tends to be different, have like different shit going on every time. And of course, we will be reading Mogmail. Stay tuned if you're watching live for the post show. We'll be doing questions from the Syndicate and continue the Field and City Themes tournament bracket. What have we done this week in 14? Mela?
Hello,
Good
Lucas.
choice.
Thank you for choosing me. What have I done this week? I've done main scenario roulette every day almost.
Nice.
And every single time I got Praetorium, so I'm happy.
That's good.
Lucky you.
My
I've gotten
machinist is...
Meridian like 3 times.
No, I've got like 40 or 50 Moogle tomes now, I guess.
Oh, nice.
My machinist is, I think, 77 or 78 now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be finishing that. I've done the first 2 quests for the Cardinal Virtues physical DPS line.
Okay.
The guy's kind of funny, I guess. I mean, he seems very unreliable.
Yeah.
But I'll see where that goes.
He's got lots of money.
Oh, yeah.
We've got loads of money. I love how we have a feast at the end of every single quest. Not much other than that, but I hope to get the Namazu and the 2 mounts by the end of this event.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a lot of tomes to grind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Praetorium...
I know.
That's true.
It's quicker than you think. I
No,
used
I
to
know.
hate it, but now that I've done it a few
daily.
times, I'm okay with it.
I did it daily as well back last time,
So
and I've been
one of
doing
the
it
best
daily
ways
this
to
time as
level.
well.
Yeah, I don't mind it now.
Yeah. Okay, Georgi. Clockwise. Clockwise today. Yes. Go on.
I've been doing main scenario roulette every day. I liked how one time this week, as soon as we zoned in, 5 people left. That was good. When we got into Meridianum. So yeah, I've been doing that to level my Astrologian, and I think that's about it this week. Been leveling my Astrologian on both my characters.
Okay. You can tell that we're in between patches now. There's the drought. Rollo.
Yeah, I've been doing the Moogle Homestone grind as well. Mostly doing Alliance Roulette more than Rain Snares because I haven't been feeling like sitting down for an hour or so just yet. I mean, I've done a couple main scenario runs.
Have you found that you've got raids you don't want, though? Or have you been pretty good on getting the Motley series?
It's surprising. I've been getting mostly... what's the last one?
Dunscape.
I've been mostly getting Dunscape.
Ah, that's good
Which
then.
is-
That's the one
I've
you
got
want.
no Dunscape yet.
You're so unlucky.
I've done it
I've
about
got-
a dozen times this week, so yeah. But
Every time I've done it on my main, I've only gotten Crystal Tower raids, and the one time that I got a Mark raid was yesterday when I did
Yeah.
it with Lakil, and it was Void Arc.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
oh,
true.
wait, do you play at peak hours for Americano?
I have no idea, Rollo.
Okay,
Mm.
I don't know what time you usually play at, but maybe that's it. But I just being in Dunscape and remembering Proto Ultima is so weird. You guys, like, that happened. It came out during like PAX East or
Yeah.
something, right? And like, super cool fight,
Yeah.
and then just
It
see
was
it
awful, wasn't
show
it?
up.
I still
Yeah.
find it very strange that there was never any kind of equivalent way of getting accessories for that at the end of Stormblood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
That said, though, I've never seen the succubus boss ever since.
You can get her.
Seen
still.
her maybe
Yeah,
once
but
or
if
twice
someone
since then,
has
but
the
it's-
quest, it's
yeah.
Ultima, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
if only one person has the quest. The Ultimate, the Proto Ultima accessories do look cool because they glow.
And the chest piece looks cool.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Rollo, what have you done?
Other than
Did that.
that,
Oh,
yeah,
you did
it
that.
was just mostly leveling. I'm still working on Red Mage, but I decided to level some other stuff just in the meantime. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna finish it off this week though. I got it at 79.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I've done the Moogle event. That's about it, really. There's not much more to do. And leveling, of course, but I do that while farming the tomes. So
Yeah, it's a good It's good motivation to get back into the leveling cycle.
Yeah. Okay.
We
Well,
got, like
what?
2 weeks worth of this, right?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I guess. Okay.
No, I think it's gonna.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Thanks
will
for a
talk
month,
about this
actually.
soon, but I think it's gonna be 4 weeks.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, we're about to talk about it. Here we go. Let's dive into recent events. And of course, our first story, a letter from the producer live. We finally have a date. It's happening Thursday, February 6th at 11 a.m. GMT. I
much
don't know.
later than any of us really thought.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, see,
Uh.
we usually, if I remember correct, like every time we talk about a live letter, I forget. But isn't it like usually we get a live letter and then 2 weeks later we get the patch? Isn't that how it's
Yes.
So you're
always
saying
been?
the 8th? I'd say the
That is-
18th now then for the patch.
I want to
Yeah.
say that's typically the case. I can't speak to it historically. I don't have a strong enough memory of the time difference between live letters and patches.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's looking likely that the patch will drop on the 18th,
Yeah.
which I still think is mid-February.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been the 25th, and if it was the 25th, I would have been very upset.
Yeah. There's not much more in the announcement. It just says that the show will be about patch 5.2 preview part 2 and miscellaneous announcements, aka merch that we can't
No,
buy.
I don't like that.
Why?
Because they already gave hardly any information in the first part.
I know.
Now they're dedicating time to merch again.
It's weird though, yeah, because
Well-
even this announcement had no information other than the
Yeah.
time. There's like, we'll tell you more later. Details coming
probably-
soon.
We'll probably see some of the instances. They might show us some of the dungeon or
Yeah.
the raids.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be a very good patch, the fact that they're keeping so much hidden.
Yeah.
Usually that means there's something quite surprising to happen.
Yeah.
And we should get the patch trailer unless Soken has not had enough time to mix the audio.
That's
Mhm.
true. That's true.
I mean, some of the reason why they can't show us stuff is because I have a feeling. I mean, we are most likely getting either a new zone or because the Bosnia Citadel thing is a thing, and
That's going to be interesting, isn't it?
yeah.
Do you think the Bosnia Citadel thing is the thing they're going to spend the most time on? Because they always pick one thing.
That might be the
To focus
focus.
on.
That might be the focus. 'Cause it's brand new content.
They'll explain the in-depth mechanics of doing more fates.
If,
But
yeah.
do you,
if
do
that's
you,
the relic thing, then yeah, it'll be like how we've expanded Eureka.
Mhm. Do you think there will be an overworld area and then an instanced Eureka-like area, or do you think there'll just be an instanced area, or do you think it's just going to be an overworld area?
I'd kill for just an open world area.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be in the overworld.
That's what I would want. But what it's going to be is like there's going to be like a fucking man somewhere in Alamigo to teleport you to the instance zone. If there is an instance zone.
Yeah, it's not going to be an overworld zone because they want people from all across the data center to be able to participate in one area.
Yeah.
I think I said this before. I hope that it's only one instance zone that they just expand upon each time rather than 4 separate zones.
Yeah.
Because if everyone's in one zone, it makes it less likely the older zones will die.
That's true. Also, don't put in leveling.
Yeah.
Because that is a waste of time.
I don't
It was a
mind
cute
leveling
concept.
if it's closer to the difficulty of Blue Mage.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
If leveling is like Blue Mage, I'd be more okay with it. And if there is no de-leveling, I don't want to play 11.
No special guest like chat is pointing out as well, so there's more time to just look at content. It is also a good point though that Smorkles is pointing out that Relic is 5.25, so they might not want to show us too much yet because they might save that for the live letter before that patch.
That's true.
Well, they will definitely show some of it either in the trailer. They might just show it in the trailer. Actually, they might not even. No, they will definitely mention it. They'll talk about it.
There might even be.
They might show off some of the weapons.
Yeah.
Might be new craftable primal weapons. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, they might talk about the beast tribes.
We're up to Zervan now, I think.
Zervan, okay.
So, yeah, but they might talk about the beast tribes. They're coming with the patch, aren't they? Yeah.
That's also true, yeah.
That's the first time we'll have a dedicated gatherer beast tribe.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's at 11 a.m. GMT. I think it's just going to be me and Georgi covering that, right? From
probably.
Rollo's
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't want to be up at like 5 a.m.
That's okay, Rollo. Okay, next story. Okay, so make sure you remember that. We'll be covering it, so tune in for that. Valentione's Day 2020. 3 emissaries of Ardor vie for your affection. Weird event coming up. There's a voting system this time. Lisette's 3 protégés are competing to see which of them most deserves to assume the role of emissary of love for this year's festival. To that end, a vote will be held to decide who among them can offer the most inspired and insightful advice to Eorzea's lovelorn. You may only vote once during the course of this quest. Your vote will be counted in the world where it was completed. You can vote for Astrid, Rodrigalt, and BeRt. Rodrigal,
BeRt. Vote
and BeRt.
Vote for BeRt.
Best name ever.
Just BeRt.
Just BeRt.
Basically, you've got a choice of Maelstrom, adders,
blue adders. No, blue.
Immortal Flame, maybe, or Ishgard.
I mean, they don't really represent regions, seemingly. You got a choice between child, elf, and BeRt.
Yeah.
Vote BeRt, everyone.
3 types of romance.
Well, the fun part, the funny thing here is that they're just they give you the dice that they use on the
I like
chess
that.
pieces, and it's funny because BeRt has got million corn yellow.
Yeah, even better.
Even
another reason to vote BeRt.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about this picture is that Rodrigal and BeRt are wearing the seasonal event item. Astrid is not. She's wearing what
another
she's
reason
worn.
not to vote Astrid.
She doesn't
because
care.
She's a girl. She's not even wearing the event gear.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter who you pick because you can just dye it to whatever color you want, anyways.
Yeah,
but
it's more political.
The items are named differently, so you'll get different names. But you can also apparently, well, we'll dive into that in a second when we read the dev blog. But there's also a housing item that comes with this: a chocolate fountain.
A pink chocolate fountain.
Well,
it defaults to pink.
Yeah, for some reason.
Meat fountain.
But you can dye it to whatever color you want. So pick your colors.
Yeah. If you want to be, if you're a dark knight, have a blood fountain.
Make it Goobu brown or green.
No.
Make a booger fountain.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Before we go to the dev blog, it's very strange. I don't like that they gave the Highlander eyebrows in the artwork for this event when he clearly does not have them in game.
No, yeah. They made sure
They
to
said
give
that's
him a
why they had
hat
to
that
have.
just covers that area, though,
It
so you
totes
can't
has
really
eyebrows
see
under
it. Okay, but there's more
How you guys like the
information.
event gear?
There's more information in the dev
Yeah,
blog.
it's cute enough.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's cute. Well, we did talk about this before we went on air. It's weird that they've made them gendered. They're two sets for both genders.
Yeah.
We have the technology to change it automatically when you apply to a character. But obviously, this is Mog Station reasons, right?
Well, you can buy the opposite gendered outfit,
Yeah.
which is not normally the
But
case.
I'm talking about the people that come the next year. Mog Station is not for the people that get it now. It's for the people
Yeah,
that
I
come
know.
later. And they'll be like, oh, I bought a Fantasia. Oh, shit. This gear doesn't transform into my gender now. I have to buy a new set.
No, can't
Surely
you
that will.
exchange it?
Surely you'll be able to exchange at the Calamity Salvager. That's normally the case with it. Even if you buy the Mog Station versions, you can normally exchange the.
Do you think a new player
exchange.
knows that?
No.
Does
I'm
the
not
game
saying
tell
that
you
the
at
player
any
knows that.
point?
I'm just. No, I'm
No.
not saying.
That's the
I'm
point,
just-
Georgi. That's why they do it. They make it difficult so that people that don't know
It's
buy
not
it.
difficult. It's just
Right,
unobvious.
Georgi, not for you because you know. Where does it say for a new player that
I'm
they can
not saying
exchange?
that it's clear. I'm just saying it's easy.
I'm saying that's
but-
why they do it.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Well, why are you? That's why they do it, chat. That's why they do it.
It seems kind of like a stretch. But that's the reason. But
It's why else
I
would
don't
they
know.
do it then, Rollo? When we have the
don't know.
technology to transform it.
technical limitations. Huh?
It is why. It is why. You're just too afraid to say
That
it.
it is why.
Yoshi-P is watching. We know.
I'm not afraid to say that the company is greedy.
Okay. Well, I didn't
Oh,
say
they
that.
are.
Whoa,
Absolutely.
I wouldn't say that. Oof, I would never put those
Wow.
words in.
Okay.
Oh, what a coward! Don't back
Yikes,
down.
I would never say that. In the dev blog.
You say I'm two-faced.
In the dev blog, there's more information. Greetings, wanderers. Love is in the air and Valentione's Day is about to begin. This is my favorite seasonal event. Maybe I just really love love. There is something special about celebrating all those that are closest to you, and we make sure there is no shortage of that in Eorzea. Okay, we're shaking things up with this event. This time, all adventurers will see two faces of Valentiones. The voting face and the result face, which will vary depending on each world. Your votes are important, so don't forget to go out and cast your vote. Somehow that rhetoric sounds familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on it. How to
Pokemon
participate.
Go to the polls.
You may begin your love locket quest from Lisette by the Miketos Amphitheater. The contrast. Okay, so they talk about the quest reward. We just talked about it. The contrast between each color and the black is really striking, don't you think? This time, depending on who you voted for, the name of the item reward and the color will vary. How could we forget the most important PSA? No matter your choice, each outfit is dyeable. Be sure to check out the special Valentine website for more details. Oh. Sorry, I shouldn't have had that much battery fresh before we went on. Feel free to stay true to your protege's color or dye it to your favorite color. Personally, I'm a pastel pink enthusiast. My favorite part of seasonal event outfits is mix-matching pieces with other gear to come up with unique glamours. We're definitely looking forward to seeing your glamorous screenshots on the forums and social media. If you'd like to purchase the opposite gender outfit, you'll be able to purchase them from the seasonal vendor, so be sure to get them while you can.
I think that's interesting because they don't normally let you do that. You don't normally have the opportunity to buy the opposite gender's outfit.
Yeah, that's true.
Really? I feel like
No.
that
No,
was
you
normally
done
can't.
before.
It normally just switches to what you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I think technically there have been some events where you could choose to get the opposite gender's outfit. but you just can't wear it.
Yeah.
Basically, guys, rose sucks. Forget-me-nots suck. Acacia is the way. Vote BeRt. 2020 for Valentine. Love man of the year.
We're gonna sway the polls though. Now
Yeah.
we're gonna like.
Well, we are trying to.
Yeah.
We want BeRt.
No. We have to be neutral.
No.
I
Yeah, so you'll be able to get both gendered outfits, which is useful if you want to glamour it on your retainers, squadron members, or custom delivery clients. Or it might indicate that they plan to ungender lock them at some point. That's kind of hopeful, but it's possible.
That's true. That could be why they made them as 2.
Yeah.
Rather than just switching.
Once you've completed the seasonal quest, you can put the strength of you and your loved one's bond to the test in the Valentine ceremony. Upon completion, you'll be rewarded with chocolates that can be traded for an array of delectable items. Craftily... what?
Maze looks different this year, doesn't it? It's in the forest rather than being in the Sanctum of the 12.
I think this is what it always looks like, because it's supposed to be behind the Sanctum of the
Oh,
12.
where?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's behind. Yeah.
it's the same.
When you turn around, you see the sanctum.
I just obviously never.
Why can't I have my wedding here?
Yes.
That'd be nice. Have an
Well, the
outside
after
wedding
party.
for once.
You could have
Yeah,
like an
that
after
would be
party in the
cool.
garden.
Well, that'd be cool,
Yeah.
but it doesn't let you.
No.
Ah, well.
They don't have enough keys for that. Once you've completed the seasonal quest, you can put the strength of you and your loved one's bond to the test in the Valentine ceremony. I just read that. I just read that.
That's
Craftily maneuver yourself through this maze with your loved one and see how high you can score. I know the surroundings of fauna and flora are beautiful, but don't let it distract you for too long. If you and your partner start to wander astray too far, your rating will start to trickle down. Remember, teamwork makes the dream work. You can complete the ceremony as many times to your heart's content to receive more chocolates in exchange for said delectable items. Check out this grand chocolate fountain. You can dye the chocolate to the flavor you desire. White chocolate, matcha, strawberry. The possibilities are endless. Booger. As part of the delicious dessert set, it also features an assortment of fruits and sweets. Can't decide which one I'd like to start from, but chocolate dipped dipped strawberries are certainly a classic. That's that. That's
Person's very hungry.
very, very hungry.
There's also marshmallows on this plate.
And more
Which-
yeah.
excitingly, those cinnamon stick things that you could use as a straw.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
What are they? I don't know what they're called. Cinnamon sticks.
Cinnamon? No, they're not. Cinnamon
they're
sticks
not
are
necessarily cinnamon.
no.
They're like twills.
Yeah.
Twills.
Yeah. So that's that. Look forward to that.
Vote BeRt.
Vote BeRt.
Yeah, vote BeRt. Whatever. Just
Yeah. But BeRt, why not?
Yeah, vote
BeRto.
yeah. We
Don't be a
support.
creep. Don't vote for a child.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't vote for child. Vote for.
We're
BeRt.
not voting to date them. You just-
They're going to be the
It's
emissary of love.
implied. It
Yeah,
is-
but the event
Is it?
page starts with the phrase. Where is it? 3 emissaries of ardor vie for your affection.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
creepy.
Oh, that is kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see you there. We'll see you at
See
Valentine's
you in
Day.
Valentine.
Okay.
If I see any of you in the red outfit, I'm reporting you
Traitors.
to the
I'm
wood whalers.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to see the different ones, so I'm gonna do all of them.
How old is Astrid? She's like 14.
How? Oh, you have more than one character.
Yeah.
Do
What
we
did
know
you say? Sorry,
how
Lucia?
old is Astrid again? 14?
She has to be a teenager
Yeah.
at most, because she's around the same size as the twins, and they're like 16.
Yeah. All right. Main story time. Interview with Yoshi-P. What does the P stand for? Poo.
Producer. Oh. Right, cut that bit.
Okay. Interview. Final Fantasy XIV's Naoki Yoshida on Shadowbringers, Xbox, and rebuilding a realm reborn. I love that chat. We're very close to what I was gonna say. Well, I know. Interview. Final Fantasy XIV's Naoki Yoshida on Shadowbringers, Xbox, and rebuilding a realm reborn. Final Fantasy XIV has been on quite an extraordinary journey.
Whoa
Once-
there! The people have to listen.
Slow down.
What is going on?
I've
You
had
put
too
a
much
roller
battery.
right
Okay, here we go. Final Fantasy XIV has been on quite an extraordinary journey.
Still very similarly paced.
One so tumultuous.
Oh, don't do
Tumultuous.
this.
It's a miracle the MMORPG is still alive. Is this fast enough? Alive and kicking.
This is fine.
Let alone one of the biggest games on the planet. Spurred onward by a love for the brand and an unwavering dedication to its fan base, Square Enix rebuilt Final Fantasy XIV from the ashes, nuking the 1.0 version from orbit, and creating something truly astonishing in its image.
True, technically, I guess.
Yeah.
Technically true.
Yeah. A Realm Reborn launched in 2013 to critical and commercial acclaim, cementing itself as one of the genre's brightest sparks, even if it was built on the ruins once thought unsalvageable. Despite its warm reception, the game's director, Naoki Yoshida, is well aware that it was put together under dire circumstances, and if a second opportunity arises, they'd happily make some changes.
Oh, jeez.
After I took over the project, I made the decision to revamp Final Fantasy XIV, Yoshida tells me. We created everything from scratch in only 2.5 years. We didn't really have enough time to create the game. The development team was in its infancy too. Many key members were busy expanding their skill set, acquiring expertise required to compete with Western greats like Guild Wars and World of Warcraft, all while remaining faithful to the Final Fantasy name, still on bad contacts. Everything was so challenging to them. Yoshida seems both proud and bewildered when he thinks back to the origins of Final Fantasy XIV, a game whose original vision he couldn't stomach more than 5 minutes of because of how absurdly unwieldy it was. Shut down to make room for A Realm Reborn's release in 2013, 1.0 was a beautiful product of hubris. It took the success of Final Fantasy XI for granted, pushing gorgeous visuals as opposed to mechanical advancements the genre had adopted years ago. That is very true. A Realm Reborn changed all of this. Although it is flawed, it is a flawed gem, cobbled together under extreme circumstances we'll likely never see again. If we had full capability and enough time to do it, in all honesty, we'd recreate everything from scratch, Yoshida said of the current iteration, which is still fun to play, but burdened by an inconsistent sense of pacing.
It's kind of true that we'll never really get a game like 14 again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because how often do you have games built on the skeleton of a previous game?
But that makes me very happy if he also works on whatever the next MMO project is.
Yeah.
Because he can clearly make a good MMO, but he's obviously very hampered as well by...
He's being held back
1.0.
by the
So it could be really
ghost
amazing.
of Tanaka or 1.0.
I'd be curious just to see what his next game will be, because we know that he's working on another project at Square Enix.
Yeah,
We just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I could see him making like a really fun action RPG or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must
I
be
think he wants.
Classic.
Yeah. Go on, Georgi.
I think he wants to make a more traditional RPG, and also, or at least in terms of setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely right for setting, I think.
Yeah. Must be really nice for him to work on a game that has no technical debt. You just start from scratch. Because right now, I don't know if 14 is ever going to be able to catch up to the technical debt it's got. Because it is, there's a lot of...
No.
Yeah, no. At level 20, you fight Ifrit, and then there's almost nothing until Titan at level 32. Truth. In the
Great story during that bit.
Yeah.
A drought.
In the original scenario, we planned to have a Ramuh encounter in between them, but simply didn't have the resources. With changes... Yeah, that is interesting, because there's...
Have we ever heard that information?
No, that is... I think that's new.
Could you imagine going like from Ifrit to Ramuh? And
imagine
then...
how weird Ramuh would be. That would feel really out of place. But we do spend a lot... Isn't that when we spend a lot of time in the 12
Yeah, that's when we get this...
The Shroud?
That's when we
Isn't
hang
that
out
after?
with the...
No,
Totorak is
it's
24. Yeah, it makes sense. Totorak is 24, isn't it?
Okay.
So... Ooh, that is...
But then story-wise, I mean, Ifrit and Titan are almost one and the same. They just look after their minions. But Ramuh had a sort of... He was very different. He sort of just felt a bit more human than just primal.
Yeah.
He just wanted his little slice of the woods.
Yeah.
In a way.
Well, he also knows that his summoning is bad for the woods.
Yeah.
So
and we do learn about the tempered sylphs or the purple sylphs during that time in the story.
Cabbages.
So it's very clearly setting the scene.
Yeah.
But we never go there until like 2.2, 2.1. I can't remember when we go there. 2.3.
Ramuh must be summoned with an inability to control how and when he tempers things.
Mm-hmm.
Because he seems not to want to do that.
Yeah. Didn't he? I can't remember how his tempering works. I don't know if we delve into it that much. But wasn't that like they do it they voluntarily get tempered? The sylphs?
But why would he choose to do that then?
I don't know. I can't remember. It's been so long. It's 2.3
Maybe-
stuff.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Okay. With changes to A Realm Reborn, we want to cut this down little by little to make it feel more streamlined. So now he's talking about the streamlining of the A Realm Reborn main scenario. Grinding through the main campaign before hitting its expansions are a common barrier for new players jumping into Final Fantasy XIV, a problem Yoshida and company are keenly aware of. Between patches 2.1 and 2.3, there are so many side quests required for MSQ that it made players feel exhausted. Even if you cleared it, it's still a long way to 2.5, so people might be discouraged and end up lapsing out. That is also true. I've talked about this many times. A complete overhaul with such an old engine is unlikely, but Square Enix is doing what it can to make A Realm Reborn more accessible. The team is currently working on removing unimportant things to streamline the process. It's really hard to revamp everything, but there are some bits that we can improve, so that's what we're going to do. So there you go. I'm still thinking about the Realm Report, but that's... He's talking about 2.1 and 2.3 specifically, which I didn't know that was...
I think 2.1 is one of the most
Oh, that's the fucking
clunky
Maelstrom
patches.
thing, isn't it? Through the Maelstrom?
No,
Yeah.
that's 2.2.
Well, that was 2.2. What was 2.1 again?
2.2.
Oh, A Realm
2.1
Awoken.
together.
It was A Realm
Here's A
Awoken.
Realm Awoken, which has King Morgulmog.
Yes. Oh, God.
Ugh.
Ugh. Yes, okay. I see. This recreation of A Realm Reborn could arguably be coming at the perfect time, since Final Fantasy XIV is poised to arrive on Xbox platforms in the near future. An announcement few in the gaming landscape saw coming. Microsoft's foray into the gaming space is infamously unpopular in Japan, eclipsed by Sony and Nintendo on all fronts, and that hasn't really changed. Yeah, I feel like the Xbox announcement still hasn't...
It's not really
There's
happened.
no public official announcement yet, but all
No, there isn't.
all magazines are reporting that that's happening. So I guess so.
I want to say the original source was a Microsoft source, so I don't
It
know
was.
if we've
Yeah, it
heard
was
was
that
it-
guy.
Yeah,
Well, Phil Spencer just came out and said it.
Phil Spencer
Yeah.
apparently said it in an
Yeah,
interview or
that's
something.
him.
Yeah,
I don't know if we've heard anything concrete coming from Square Enix's side.
no, I don't think
Oh, this is
so.
as
No.
concrete as we're getting. Just Yoshi being like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it happened. You
So-
missed it.
I think we don't know which Xbox platform. It says Xbox platforms plural here, so I don't know.
Well, they might explain it
Oh.
Yeah.
in the next paragraph.
So, when the Xbox One launched in Japan, there were no TV commercials or advertisements, so I thought they were just giving us a pass this time, Yoshida said of the brand. Under the leadership of Phil Spencer, Xbox's attitude towards Japanese games has changed dramatically, with the upcoming arrival of not only Final Fantasy XIV, well, there you go, but also Phantasy Star Online 2.
Yeah.
Wait, was
But
that a
it still
quote? No, that
It
was
doesn't
not.
say what console it is coming for. Still.
No. Phil Spencer had made such an effort to make this possible, and now it's cool to see it becoming a reality. That is a quote from
That is a
Yoshi-P.
quote.
So I think that kind of confirms it. He also says Xbox One, so that sounds like it's for the Xbox One now. He says
Okay.
when the Xbox One launched in Japan, so he's obviously talking about Xbox One in this interview. However, Yoshida makes it clear that Final Fantasy XIV on Xbox must abide by one strict rule, being fully compatible with other platforms. In theory, you'll be able to log into the Xbox version at launch and find your characters intact and ready to tackle endgame content.
After buying it.
Well, yeah. Well, they're talking about existing people that...
Yeah.
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 Still
Square...
don't like that you have to rebuy it for every system you play on there.
No, that's true. Yeah.
No.
Square Enix isn't ready to share launch details on this version, but given Xbox Series X is on the horizon, we might be waiting...
Xbox sex.
Xbox
The
Sex
sex box.
is on the horizon. We might be
Finally.
waiting until the next generation to hear more. I'm
The joke
embarrassed.
became real.
I am so embarrassed by that. I don't...
Yes.
Well, it's not your product.
I mean, come on. At least the PS5 is the piss station because has the S and the 5. Piss.
Yeah,
I've not heard that one.
That's
That's
It's a
more of
new
a
one.
stretch. That's a little more of a stretch for me.
PlayStation piss.
Cool.
Piss station.
I think
Well,
I'll always prefer PlayStation.
I will too.
I think we can just say that Microsoft are very bad at coming up with names.
Yeah,
for their
Yeah.
games.
yeah. Okay. Shadowbringers, the MMORPG's latest expansion, has been heralded as one of 2019's best games by critics and players alike, sitting pretty with a 91 on Metacritic at the time of writing.
One of the best games.
Yeah. This reception caught the development team by surprise. They keep getting surprised, but they aren't letting it cloud their vision for the future. When the Metacritic score was first revealed, it really took everyone by surprise, and we were thinking it must be getting lower soon, but it just kept climbing. Yoshida said.
Have more faith in your product, please.
Has no
Stop
faith.
being surprised that whenever you throw a product out to the public, they like it.
During development, we didn't really set a goal of hitting a certain review score, Yoshida explains, a milestone which often helps determine staff bonuses at other studios. We didn't want this to be a goal for us because the most important thing is the community enjoys the game. Such expectations can also bring unwarranted pressure on Yoshida's team, a paranoia he's quick to dispel. It becomes a pressure for some developers. If they have panic attacks from the pressure, I tell them it's okay. You can do whatever you want and keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, that's nice.
I'd love to work on his team. It sounds chill.
Yeah. It's also a little like Yoshi-P is often, he's always been described as someone who will just suddenly be like behind your shoulder and be like, can we change that? I want this.
But that's fine, you know.
Yeah, I know, it's fine.
If he's gonna be as cool as he is.
Yeah. While it's often hyperbolized as the savior of Final Fantasy, Naoki Yoshida is incredibly humble, keen to sing the praises of his colleagues at every turn. Shadowbringers is a proof of how much the development team has grown, and that's why I always remind them to keep creating the game with fun and find as much enjoyment in that as possible. That being said, I bet hitting a higher score with the next expansion will be impossible.
I have some. I kind of see what he means. The game's definitely going to have a high point.
Yeah, it's weird though because we I think. Even we thought that Stormblood was going to be the swan song, because I feel like we talked about that.
That's
before.
true, we did.
Definitely did.
Yeah.
I remember we said something like, oh, will this be as good as it gets?
Yeah. Well, because we already felt that it was going down, because Stormblood...
Yeah, Stormblood
you can
was
say
a
what
bit
you
of
want
an-
about Stormblood, but it was just an okay expansion. It was not a big high. It was not a big low. It was
It
just
was
an
definitely no
expansion.
Shadowbringers.
It was no Shadowbringers.
Mechanically, it was an improvement. Story-wise, it didn't hit the highs that Heavensward did.
No.
Yeah, they sorted out a lot of systems like beef tribes and stuff to make them
Which
feel
is a
good.
given with 14. Every expansion will improve the game, because it was basically just a bare skeleton when it's
Stormblood,
reborn.
there were massive quality of life improvements because of the dropping of the PS3 support.
Yeah.
That's true.
So no one really expected Shadowbringers to be this good. So that's good, which means it can happen again, but
It can.
adjust
Even
your
if they
expectations.
equal
I guess is what I'm
Shadowbringers, it's
saying.
fine.
Yeah.
Because I'm the worst person on the planet, I couldn't help but bring up the subject of Fortnite.
Hey,
Well, I know a lot of people have been thinking about this, though. So
That's fair.
yeah, bring up Fortnite before concluding my chat with Naoki Yoshida. Earlier this year, the original version of Fortnite was shut off suddenly, caused by a black hole essentially swallowing up the entire universe.
Is that how it works?
Servers remained inaccessible for several hours, with players waiting... several hours.
I know, imagine.
I cry for you. With players waiting desperately to play the Battle Royale. Once Epic Games was ready, it returned with the introduction of Chapter 2. This version of the game featured a new map, new mechanics, and a revamped progression system that arguably transformed the entire experience. It also drew a number of comparisons between itself and A Realm Reborn.
Oh, God.
I don't think...
Shut up.
I
It
wouldn't
didn't.
do that.
I
wouldn't
could see the
compare.
similarities.
No,
I've heard those
Fortnite wasn't struggling.
No.
Fortnite wasn't
And
a
it's
shit
not the same.
game.
The
That was
same game.
It's not exactly the same, but I'm not going to disagree with the writer in saying that I have seen comparisons between the two games in regards to that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Just destroying a familiar setting.
Yeah. Some of the development team are fans of Fortnite, and they noticed it resembles the end of an era in Final Fantasy XIV. Some people came to me and asked, "Did you see this? Did you see that?" So everyone was aware of it. The visual representation did really resemble what we did with destroying the world. The act of obliterating the world of massively multiplayer games isn't new in the slightest, with Yoshida referencing classic titles such as Ultima Online, which flooded the world with demons and expected players to fight them off. It seems the best aspect of these events, in his eyes, is how such things bring players together. In older MMO titles like Ultima Online, when the world was ending, a lot of demons suddenly appeared and killed everyone. They all died, were resurrected, died again, and were resurrected again. It was quite messy, but that's the kind of thing older MMORPGs did. The developers just want players to enjoy the moment together, almost like it's a giant festival kind of thing. That's probably why Fortnite made the decision to do this, and given it's Fortnite, players probably saw it as an even bigger surprise. Despite Final Fantasy XIV not being the first title to destroy its own world in such a way, it's arguably the most iconic. It set the foundations for a success story, which, by all accounts, shouldn't really have happened. Even so, Yoshida couldn't help but gloat a little bit, and it turns out his son is an avid player of Epic Games Battle Royale. This is shocking. What I'm about to tell you is shocking.
So upsetting.
Yeah, it's very upsetting, so brace yourselves.
Yeah, I know. Yoshida has a son.
Yeah.
That too, yeah.
That too.
College age son.
But this is even more shocking.
Yeah, college age son.
This is even more shocking. My son is in his first year of college, and he's a massive fan of Fortnite. When I went back home, he came up to me saying, "Fortnite is doing something really great. They're destroying the world. You need to see it." So I'm like, well, I actually did that 6 years ago. He learned through Fortnite that Final Fantasy XIV has actually gone through such a moment.
I hate that. But it's fine.
You know,
I'll let it
Such
go.
an iconic event. His father... Why has he not told... His son is clearly a gamer. He's playing... What?
Yeah.
How?
I mean,
I'm-
you know.
If anyone's going to know, if anyone's son is going to know, it's going to be Yoshi-P's son.
Really though, because like it could be just one of those things where the son is like, "Oh, it's not cool because my dad's into it." So like, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's so often children will show lack of interest in
Such
their
a
parents.
historic thing to
working.
happen, though, in the gaming world. But I guess it's a boomer thing now to talk about.
Yeah, I guess.
14.
Is, we're the boomers, and he's the zoomer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
He
true.
He shows his
Maybe
dad his
even-
favorite Fortnite dance.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God. Yoshi-P's son flossing.
Watch me floss, Dad. Can you add that to 14? Get a floss emote. Then I'll start playing.
Yeah. Okay, Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, and its trio of expansions, Heavensward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers, are now available across PS4, PC, and Mac. A recent crossover with Nier Automata has seen it explode in popularity, and the community has shown no signs of slowing, as more and more players jump on Square Enix's almost unparalleled online experience. While it has a rocky start and takes a lot of commitment to truly invest in, there really is nothing like it. After working on the project for the better part of a decade now, I asked Yoshida what he thinks about the game's current state, and if he has a message for the fans who've stuck by Square Enix all this time. Here it is. Final Fantasy XIV is a very happy place right now, and it's thanks to all the players, fans, and members of the media who have supported us throughout the years. We are very grateful for this. The development and administration teams consider the members of the community as comrades, expanding Final Fantasy XIV together as allies. I believe that Final Fantasy XIV is a Final Fantasy created with a community, so let's continue enjoying it together.
Socialist 14.
Yes, we're socialists now.
Oh, finally.
Yeah.
Huh?
We've made it work.
Comrades.
The comrades in arms.
Yeah, we're comrades in arms now.
I mean, that's what we're doing in Ishgard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time you go in Ishgard, you're handed a copy of Das Kapital.
Well, that was a good interview. That was a lot of stuff that we didn't know.
Yeah, there was new stuff and it was good.
Yeah.
I like.
Makes me
I think
wonder.
the remove thing is the most shocking.
That was the most shocking.
Yeah.
What a
And it also
different world.
made so much sense now because we have this weird thing happening in the Shroud where we go to Totorak and then there's this tempering shit and then we just leave. I think we kind of see Ramu, don't we? Like there's like a I think they even show him for a second, like his beard. I have this
Do they?
I remember seeing something. It might have been 2.3. I can't remember, but I have this I think we see him because they talk about
'Cause we get-
Ramu. And there's
We
like
get Ramu's we get
a,
Ramu's crystal once we rescue the cabbage, the not the cabbage, the cauliflower one.
pretty sure they show Ramu. Yeah, they
Oh,
show
do
him.
show
They do show
Okay.
him. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he was in game. His model was in the game. Interesting. Right.
I would have thought Leviathan would have been included before Ramu, or they would have thought about including Leviathan.
yeah, because
before Ramu.
Leviathan was slated for 1.0 originally. So
Yeah, he was in all the. Well, no, that was a sea serpent, wasn't it? In the
yeah,
initial
that was
cutscene?
not Leviathan.
But it should have been Leviathan. Let's be honest. It would have made much more sense.
Yeah, but yeah.
'Cause Ramu and Shiva always felt the most different from the other Realm Reborn ones because they're the most human-like.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. I guess it's time to move on to Mogmail. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Here's Mogmail. Ooh. We're going back in time a little. This is from Raylan from Crystal.
Oh, Crystal Boys.
Yes. As a legacy player from the days of 1.0 beta, I have witnessed all types of people come and go in the Final Fantasy XIV community. And while some experiences have been rather positive and memorable, I find that the player base is becoming increasingly aggressive and what do you pronounce that?
Segregative.
Yeah. I feel like this is a detriment to the community as a whole. Player harassment, religious slander / persecution, blatant lewdness, and the underhanded PvP tactics are running rampant more than ever.
Where's this blatant lewdness?
Yet the GMs seem to be capable of only so much to combat the first 3 issues despite their increased efforts, while the 4th is largely left with a blind eye turned to the situation. These problems do not appear to be much of concern to the devs either, which I have grown more and more disheartened over. My own girlfriend of nearly 2 years, whom I met in 14, was harassed constantly on the field during instances and matches to the point that she has given up hope from the toxicity of the player base after moving servers several times and recently deleted her character that she worked on furiously since The Realm Reborn began. I hate to bring this up, but looking at the differences of policy enforcement between 14 and other MMOs such as World of Warcraft, it feels as if Square Enix is taking oh my god, do you know who's going to read this? You know me. Stands towards these issues. I can't read with my contacts as well. I sit like an old man right now. And for them to boast about the great community is a gross falsification by allowing these things to continue without strict consequences to those who would express such vile behavior in open settings. This is supposed to be a teen-friendly game, is it not? What is your take on this? I would love to hear your thoughts, even personal accounts of witnessing actions like these, and how you feel they should be handled. Thank you for your time. Wow, heavy topic.
Pretty heavy to start on that.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know why your girlfriend of nearly 2 years was harassed constantly on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That might need more information.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I feel like we're missing. We can't really comment on that part.
Can't really comment on that.
Yeah, we don't have enough information. But
in terms of community, though, the game has grown tremendously since release. And when you bring more people together, you get more toxic people in. You get more memery. You get more segregation or cliques or whatever. This just happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's an MMO. This is always going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Find a group of players you like playing with and stick together, or I don't know. You just have to have a bit of a thick skin when playing an MMO.
We have seen an influx of new players, which means that there has been an increase in players that don't necessarily know like the societal, the cultural and societal norms of people that play the game. So they might not necessarily fall into this idea of what has been previously touted as a great community. I don't know if I necessarily can speak to a lot of these things because I don't think I've seen most of these things myself.
I've seen like dungeon harassment, like harassing new players, which really makes me angry. But there's no, I haven't really dealt with anything more serious than that. I mean, it's a symptom of growth. It's just our community used to be very small, and then as it keeps gaining popularity, there's more and more people joining the game, and they might be coming in from games where the culture was different, and then that's just how it is.
I feel
Unfortunately,
like although I've also not really seen much like really toxic behavior. I've not really in my time playing seen that much like amazing behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Like people don't seem to go out of their way to be ultra nice to each other. They're not all like singing and dancing. They're just most of them are just quiet playing the game like everyone else.
Yeah.
So,
religious slander and persecution. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I've never seen.
This sounds like a very drama-filled server. I don't know.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
On Crystal, maybe they're just on.
Have you seen any of it on Crystal, Roller?
Religious slander?
Because we both of us are on Crystal, and I can't necessarily say I've speak to seeing most of these things. I mean, I don't go to Belmont, so apparently I'm not aware of this blatant lewdness.
In my own personal experience, I've seen more, like, bad, angry people in, like, the DF more often than the overworld. At least.
Yeah.
I've had some friends of mine that have been, like, kind of creeped on by, like, people, like, hey, your character's really pretty.
Yeah.
you want a kitty little spank or something? And it's like, oh, that's weird. But, like, really, really bad stuff, like, I've seen from time to time, too. And every time I've reported it or, like, told them to stop or something like that, something has been done about it. So while I can say there have been some bad apples, more here and there, I feel like
we have dealt.
It's been taken care of.
I am remembering now. We have dealt with someone. I remember that, Mela. There was. I'm not gonna. Obviously, this is a long time ago, so it doesn't matter. It's outdated. But you remember? You know who I'm talking about. That took a long time to get resolved. Remember that? You know who I'm talking about, right? You remember the straw that broke the camel's back happened in the gold saucer. Now we're just talking.
This is like.
I know who you're talking about.
No.
You could. I'll probably remember if you tell me, but
I'll write it in chat for you.
Okay.
Just so we are on the same.
I assume how special.
Oh goodness me! Yes,
Yeah.
what a person.
That was actually quite serious. That got really
that
bad.
Was serious.
So
they were very,
so there are some bad apples that are just
but I
out
think
to
like that
cause.
was eventually sorted itself.
It was
out.
eventually sorted, but it did take a lot of time.
It did take a long time.
Mostly because of how you have to report it. Reporting is a pain sometimes because
the interface is not good at all.
No,
it's
very
poor.
Yeah,
and you have to delete like their pretext to write in. Like,
fill
out your menu system.
Yeah. There's like you almost need to like know exactly where you were, your coordinates during the time. Like
that's the worst part.
Yeah,
it makes it so hard when I'm trying to report. Like, obviously, this is kind of fruitless to report guild spammers or like people that like bots that are auto leveling. But like, you see them for like a couple of seconds. I can't catch all of their names.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
I know. Yeah,
because their names are
messes.
Yeah.
Well, at least you can just right click now for RMT, so that there is that.
Yes, that's good.
But yeah, any other reporting is really difficult.
None of us are women, so I can't necessarily speak to this. But
Mela plays this one.
Mela and Rollo play female characters, so I don't know what kind of like.
I've never been creeped on.
Okay.
Creeped on.
Never.
I have been creeped on. But that's because we used to stand in Limsa, remember? We were very exposed for a while. There's a lot of requests.
I also can understand it a bit more with you.
Okay.
Because you're the most public figure of the channel.
Well, this was before public. But it was... Okay. Nowadays, I'm not in a public area ever, so it can't happen.
That's true, you're always at the house.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not that bad.
It doesn't seem as widespread, but if you're someone who has unfortunately seen a lot of it or been a victim of it, you probably see it as being a much bigger problem than someone who's not noticed it as much. So I guess the only thing you can do is report what you see and hope that something is done about it.
I totally believe people like DMing randos just like with weird shit in the overall. That totally happens. I would say.
Yeah.
But you you can you have the choice to ignore it.
You can block and
block them.
That's a very simple way of solving the problem and not necessarily addressing it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't think that we can necessarily speak to this personally, but that's not to say that your story is untrue. I almost certainly believe that it is, but this is difficult when
there is
I
that
don't
problem
have experience
with GM response times, though. I don't think they have all the tools they need.
They don't
for
have
this.
much staff. I don't think.
No.
All of my GM like requests, which I've sent like a good dozen or so these days, have been like really, really prompt and like to the point where like I'm in I reported this person. I think they had like a particularly racist name or something like that. And I went into a duty finder real quick, like a roulette, and it was like I got in like 5 minutes, and then they just DM me in the middle of the dungeon. It's like, hey, thank you for reporting this, and then we went.
They
through
don't
like,
normally say that things are being dealt with, though.
No,
I mean,
They're
it's
not
just
allowed
the
to tell you the
standard
outcome.
response.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
they can just say they've received your report.
Yeah.
that's a positive then, Roddo.
Yeah,
So-
like I.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
they do
maybe
respond. They do respond, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're taking action.
I mean, it's not like how
doesn't.
Blizzard is, where it's like when something bad happens on their thing, they tell you directly, all right, this person, we've taken action against them. Which I think it would be nice.
I would like that.
Yeah.
I know why they don't do it,
Yeah.
but I would like that. Because then if you like had just the worst harassment or something, it's nice to know the problem's out of your life rather than never really knowing.
I at least think most of the problems I had were taken care of. I didn't see those bad names anymore or those people stop bothering
Well,
me.
they tend to be very strict with names. Names tend to be fixed pretty quickly.
Yes.
Aside from the name stuff too, I would say those. It at least sounded like they were going to take action.
Because from what I've heard, GM response times are pretty bad. From I don't really report much anymore. I used to, but I don't because now it's just too much to fill out. I can't be bothered. But also one time I filled out. I remember this. This must have been very early around reporting because I remember I was in Revenant's Toll, and I'd been through a very terrible. I think it was the Circus Tower run. And there was, I can't remember what happened, but there was this very toxic player in there that was harassing one of the other party members. So I thought, you know what, I'm reporting this person. And the shit you had to fill out, there was like, I don't know if they've streamlined it since then, but I know that they've fixed some of the forms. But they needed the time, they needed the location, they needed the name, they needed like a lot of that shit. And then you had to fill the actual report, explain what happened. I did that, and then I got a reply back, and it said that I'd filled something out wrong, and I had to resend it.
Oh,
really?
God.
There was something that was missing or that was incorrect in the report, and they were just, please send us an updated.
And this wasn't through the in-game report function you said, right?
This was the in-game one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
So I was like, oh, fuck it, then I'll leave it.
I don't fill out that stuff, to be honest. I like half fill it out, and they always reply to me.
They might be more lenient now, but they weren't then.
Most of my reports have been after they enacted that new policy change, by the way, I should say. So maybe to that person who sent the log mail, maybe now they're more responsive than before. It sounds like they are.
Yeah.
Just
if you have the ability to report and see something you want to report it.
Yeah. The other reports I have been good. They've probably done something about it.
It's very unfortunate that you and your girlfriend have experienced this.
That sucks. We're really sorry.
I don't really know how to respond.
We don't have to respond to that because we don't know any of the details there. Okay.
Before you move on, just want you to bring your attention to the tombstone on the cup, edge of the cup.
I'm gonna blow it off.
Oh my god! Don't blow on it, Rollo. Oh my god, we have a sacred.
We thought this would never
tombstone.
happen again, and it happened like.
I
2
can't
weeks
believe
later.
it's happened again. And that's like a long.
You know what to do, chat.
Don't you dare! This will stay like that until the end. Okay, next Mogmail. If I come back after the Mogmail screen and it's gone, I'm gonna cry. Okay, here we go. Second Mogmail. This is from TKO Chill from Coral.
Uh-huh.
Gentlemen, I know you already spoke on this, but starting with the assumption that Yoshi-P's new game is the next Final Fantasy Online, wouldn't it make sense that coming out in the next expansion... Oh, sorry. Wouldn't it make sense that coming out in the next expansion would be the joining of all the worlds into one, which would lead us into the next game?
That would be on the assumption that they would shut down 14 and just replace it with the new game. So
Oh,
unless
that'd
there's
make
some
sense.
sort of like transfer
Fuck.
like system implemented where we will be able to just bring our characters into the new world.
Fuck.
So soon.
God
Bring our
damn
new
it. Sorry,
characters
audio
into the-
listeners. I'm
the
so
new
sorry.
game.
Agro.
Sorry,
Um,
Malak, start over. What did you say? Sorry.
You want me to start from the whole beginning?
No, just from where I started screaming
Oh.
at you. Not you. the
Yeah,
cop.
they would need some sort of like transfer system for that to be an okay alternative. Because otherwise, 14 would just be this graveyard sort of world. And, I mean,
Yeah.
it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
If that were to happen, it would have to be something like Overwatch 2.
No.
And we can play
Oh,
some
that's
of the there are
No.
there are the sort of like pre-rejoining characters and the rejoined characters.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just don't think that Yoshi-P's next game is the next MMO.
No,
There is nothing indicating that that's the case.
it's
yet,
almost
so-
definitely not.
No.
I don't
But
even
it's
think it's going to be a
assuming
Final Fantasy game.
Well, I will say this: now that I've been working on Fallen Rise, and there's a lot of quotes from Yoshi-P from earlier Realm Reborn, and he keeps bringing up the fact that they are expecting a 10-year service for a Realm Reborn, which we're getting close to. And I'm wondering. Well, I think everything depends on the next expansion, like how well that is doing.
That's true.
But after that, we might be looking at like a
Ah,
de-escalation of the game.
that would be sad.
And then maybe a
Isn't
new
this-
one rising up soon.
As nostalgic as it is, it started off quite slowly with A Realm Reborn and then Heavensward and the rubbish one. And then now that they've done Shadowbringers, it's got really good.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want it to
I mean,
end.
we still got a good 4 years at the least because things were really different back then
That's
too.
true.
That's true.
Circumstances, so
That is
I
true.
wouldn't be surprised if that projection is entirely changed.
No.
Lakil,
Yeah.
how would you compare this point in 14's lifespan, slightly after the third expansion, to what 11's was like at this point in its lifespan?
Well, I feel like 11 was at its peak, maybe. Oh, kind of
At this point?
similar at this point. Like, how many years are we in now? 6 years?
6.
So 6 years would be 2007. Yeah, I think 11 was still doing good. 7 or 8, yeah, I think they still had FanFest at that point. So
Let's get another one.
yeah, but 11 is kind of different because it was always a little. And it wasn't a big game, so it was. It's hard to compare them because I feel like 14 is way like bigger in
So
scope.
that's why, because 14 is a bigger game, that makes me think that it's not necessarily going to. They're not necessarily going to start winding it down at the same point.
But now
as
that
they
you
did with
mention it,
11.
I feel like we are on the same right now on this almost at the same level as 11 was because this must have been the peak of 11 as well. 2008, that would be.
Yeah, but how do their peaks compare? Is 14's way higher, or is it around the same?
In terms of players, 14's is going to be astronomically higher than.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
11.
obviously that.
Yeah, I would-
Yeah, but if you were to shrink
I
them
think
down to
that's-
same, it's
Yeah, but I think-
impossible because 14 is by just the bar is automatically higher. It was higher from A Realm Reborn, because of the kind of game that it was and the story. 14 pulled in more players because they knew the backstory originally, so it got that boost as well. It's hard to compare them.
I think 14 drew in players because it's a good game, whereas 11 is.
14 was not a good
convoluted
game
mess.
at launch. I think we can all agree that vanilla A Realm Reborn was a very basic game.
Very basic, but at
What
least
drew
it
people
played
in
well.
was the allure of entering this reborn world that they had heard so much about that was all shit, and now it was supposedly good. And then they used, and the devs used that as a way to pull people in while they frantically repaired the game and added new features in.
Here's a warm welcome, guys. Just come on.
Yeah.
Come and have fun.
Yeah, A Realm Awoken was a great patch. That's when the game really got good. That's
Was
when
that housing? Or was that 2.2?
that was 2.1. No, I think that was
That's
A Realm
when they had the
Awoken.
duty finder.
Yeah.
God, don't tell me these things. I don't even want to play the game.
People that claim A Realm Reborn was a good game at launch should really go back and look at what we had, because it was an okay reboot, but it was an amazing reboot, but it was because it was A Realm Reborn.
Do you want me to tell you something scary?
Tell me. I want to be
You
frightened.
used to not. You used to not be able to queue up with other people for duty roulettes.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that, and I was very upset because I was like, "This is."
I know. I just wanted to remind you.
Yeah.
I
wanna
wanted to
play with
Realm
my
Reborn
friend.
at launch,
Yeah.
but it was different. I remember like reading a forum post on the official forums for a link shell, and that's how I found a social aspect to the game.
Yeah.
But if I hadn't found that, I'd have just. I mean, it would have just been a nightmare getting
Yeah.
through.
I got my first free company through the.
We expanded the link shell into a free company, and it was a beautiful moment.
Mm-hmm.
And never would speak to those people again, probably.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
When I met you, Mela, your FC had collapsed. You were the only person.
Oh,
left.
that one.
Oh, that was
a
another
different
one. Oh, okay, I see.
The original one I joined when the game came out, and then I had a break from the game because that sort of collapsed, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really remember. And then the new one, that was...
Yeah.
I made a big mistake with that one because they left me as FC leader. I should have just sold it because they were horrible anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, you were just doing the airships for them.
Yeah, and then they came back and they were like begging me, "Oh, give back lead," and I was like,
You abandoned me.
I should have kicked them.
Yeah. I remember that was Orange continually Orange kept asking me to ask you to join our free company instead. But I can't remember how you eventually. I think you just eventually joined because we were the only people you were hanging out with then, anyways.
Yeah.
And then did you just disband the FC?
No, I gave it back to them, I think, and then I think
disbanded
they probably
That's a
sold
big
it.
fuck you. You should have just destroyed everything.
I did, but that'd have been horrible. I couldn't be that guy.
No.
This Smogmail does have an interesting question. Do you think the rejoining of all worlds will happen at any point in 14's lifespan?
If there's a way that they're going to end the game, that would be the best way to do it.
Agreed.
Define
But if it
end the
does
game.
happen, then
The
it would
end
be
of
really
the game,
difficult
end of
'cause there wouldn't
service.
End of service, okay.
Yeah, that's the only way they can do it. 'Cause otherwise, you've got people who join the game when it's broken apart and they're in like Britannia.
Yeah. There'd
And
be
then
like
at some
two.
point they can no longer get back there,
Yeah. That would be weird.
or we'd have to have like time traveling stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, rejoining all the world. I mean, this.
You can't abandon old content that easily when it's like the entire game.
Well, it
And
would
then
be
it-
considered a bad ending, though, technically. If Aorcia. Roll, you're muted.
Oh,
Sorry. We could learn something where it's like, oh, maybe the rejoining isn't that bad after all.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
Yeah.
be totally okay
depends.
with the rejoining, just obliterating
But
everyone.
everyone would
And then the new
die.
game. Yeah, but then
Yeah,
the
I
new
think
game
that's
could be
the biggest
rebuilding
problem
of
with the
world.
rejoining.
Yeah.
Or maybe we can find like a rejoining that's not that bad, where it's like, well, not everyone has to die. We can
Not
like,
I think any kind of calamitous event that involves people dying is quite bad.
But not everyone
No,
died, so it's
no, I'm
okay.
okay, let me rephrase that. No one has to die in this hypothetical rejoining.
If
where
there is a
things-
rejoining that results in not everyone dying, I am more pro that solution. I just don't
Yeah.
think that's going to happen.
Everyone's
Mhm.
souls that are
I-
broken up between all the different shards just reconnect and we're all happy.
The rejoining
Yeah.
still makes very little sense to me because we know that dragons come from space.
Yeah.
Don't worry
Yeah,
about
but
it.
which space?
Mm,
Don't.
Which shard space?
yeah, there has
When
to be a
did they
shard
come
space.
into- When did they come into existence? Like, did the dragon...
Dragons.
Midgard Sormra has
Mhm.
has spoken with Heidelin herself
Yeah.
Yeah.
at
That is
some
true.
point.
Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe
What?
the planets just talk to each other as well.
Maybe the dragons also got split, and that's the only one that made
No.
that group on the source.
We have seen no dragons on the first.
Yeah. So ours
We've
is the
certainly
only one.
not seen any dragons pre-sundering that
No.
have been mentioned. So they
All the
must
other-
exist within the Heidelin universe.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
all the other dragons stayed on their home planet and
the
died.
source
There you
universe.
go.
I don't even think there's any evidence of them engendering dragons.
Hmm. There's
No.
just some random dragons. Well, maybe it turns out Midgard Summer is like another ancient primal, and then whatever happens.
No.
Yeah, they're gonna do something like
The
that.
most
Yeah.
ancient of primals.
Yeah.
And then a slightly one that's not as ancient.
He was the
But
thing. He was
semi-related.
the noise in the planet.
Oh, yes.
But when did he go into space and fight Omega?
And why does he help us so much?
Because of his deal with Heidelin. But
good genes.
Mm-hmm.
because of his good genes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the dragons are difficult to explain. We just have to accept them.
Yeah.
Dragons are similarly difficult to justify within our world, similar to Othard.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I wouldn't say it's as bad. I mean, we could say. I mean, the ethereal sea is very close to Eorzea. So
Mm.
that's why we can see all the calamities happen. Well, sorry, the closest point to the ethereal sea, I should say, is in Eorzea. So then we can be like, well, that's like the epicenter of a lot of shit. You know, and it doesn't happen in the east that much.
Mm.
You can bullshit something a little bit, but
Yeah.
All I know is that Koji Fox has said that don't think too hard about where the dragons came from because it's not relevant to where the story is going.
No.
yeah. We honestly don't know. We don't have to think about their home planet too much.
And yet
They're
they
just here.
still took us to his home planet in the Omega
Yeah.
Race.
Yeah.
Yes.
They did. Okay. Moving on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Take Care Chill. Next from Sionir Misa from Odin. Hello, speakers. With Eureka probably not being a thing anymore and less dungeons in the next patches, do you think something will replace Eureka? What? Is this referring to... Oh, anyways. I'm thinking we might get boss just sit... What? I'm thinking... Is this an old Mogmail that we're reading? I'm thinking we might get Bosja Citadel as a map for the new relics, but the map would also serve as a real non-instanced map where we could do MSQ, side quests, hunts, or whatever you do in regular maps. Considering
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Considering we got 4 super big Eureka maps, we might end up getting even more than one new map that could help us get further into the story, since the story on the first is almost finished, and it would be difficult after a certain point to continue the MSQ there, as we did in the past with Ishgard, Alamigo, or Othard. What do you think? Is it
The
too...
Othard.
The Othard. What do you think? Is it too much of wishful thinking? All the best.
Sadly, probably. But
Yeah.
I want a if the relic is solo friendly, then we can absolutely have one map
Yeah.
per server.
It
Yeah.
definitely needs to be solo friendly. Look at what's happened to Eureka.
Agreed. Yeah, they really didn't think ahead with it,
Yeah.
and now they're trying to just like.
Feels like such a waste of like 4 like really nice looking maps for the most part.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like, they're really big zones too. These aren't like this isn't like a dungeon size thing. These are
They
big
can
old
do
overworld
so much
maps.
stuff in it now.
Yeah.
There's just no reason to go there, unfortunately.
Yeah. Unless you want to just get all the old relics just for completion.
I mean, you can get them with like if you get a couple friends.
yeah, I mean it's
Go on,
mostly.
But what
solo
if you don't have friends?
Well, then make a PF.
Yeah.
What if you don't like people?
Well, then I'm sorry, it's not solvable.
Yeah, but
yeah.
we can only get an overworld zone if it's solo friendly, because there is a chance for like servers with only one person on, like Goblin, that they won't be able to get enough people to do the dungeon or the relic.
Don't nod so seriously to what he just said, Lakil.
Why? Why not?
I haven't brought up the
listening.
goblin joke for ages.
I'm
I want the
listening.
goblin joke to return.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
improving-
know,
I'm
but like
improving
he's
of the
just like
goblin.
Lakil was responding. Lakil was not. That was a completely legitimate thing to say.
This show, Mela's jokes, sometimes I'm just letting them happen. So, goblin joke.
Oh, my jokes get canned, but his get to continue.
Well,
I
because
see how it-
your jokes,
Yes,
Rollo,
they do, Rollo. Because I'm your
Are-
senior.
Anything
We'll
else to
contact
add?
the HR after this.
I would like it if there was some sort of if the Bosja Citadel zone was also a place where we could do main scenario quests.
That'd be cool.
That would be good.
Mm.
Have to
Could
really
even
tie
be
it
like
in.
one of the first zones of the next expansion.
Yeah.
Though I still assume we'll go to Razat Han and sail in.
Yeah, because
in
they've
a
already given
shipping
us,
container.
They've already sort of talked about
Yeah.
Reds at Han already in the story, and that's the gateway to Garlemald.
But maybe we'll go there this time. Maybe that's why they're being super quiet. They're giving us Razat Han.
That would be cool.
And then that
Cabinet-
will just be a teleport to the Eureka version of Bosja Citadel, because that won't be a new zone, but Razat Han could be.
Thavnair is. What's the connection between Thavnair and Radzat Han?
It's a shipping.
The-
Reds at
Han's the
Han.
capital.
Oh, yeah, that's the capital of Thavnair, isn't it?
Thavnair.
Okay,
Yeah.
I couldn't remember which way around it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could get the whole of Thavnair. It can't be that big.
No, it's just a tiny island. It's smaller
It's just
than
an island.
Lenosha, obviously.
That would be really cool to have like
but
the
it's around
outsiders, like just enemies and fates and stuff.
Yeah.
It's around the same size as like.
Vilbrand? No.
No, I wasn't going to say
Val?
Vilbrand. No, not Val. Val is massive apparently
Val
because
is
it has 4
massive.
zones in it.
Yeah.
It's huge.
No,
Hingashi?
what's that? Yes, that's the name of the stupid island.
Yeah.
Japan, you mean?
Mm.
No, I was going to call it Japan.
Yeah, maybe it is, but whatever. They can just make it fit. Just have one zone as that.
Yeah.
It'll probably just be a city
Yeah.
again.
Probably.
Yeah, it will. Okay. Next Mogmail coming in now. From Faris Gentoro. A behemoth. What's up, my dudes? Do you think there's going to be a rework of housing before the point of the Ishgard restoration where we eventually build the housing ward, if we actually do? Would be bad for people to build themselves a house only not to be able to get one. The official forums would light up like Amarat. Stay determined.
That's true.
Anyway, stay determined, Faris. Thank you, Faris.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
want
right.
one.
That would be so funny, but so sad.
You build the houses for the rich players on the server.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be.
It's just like real life.
Yeah.
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 Labor away.
And very fitting for Ishgard. So.
When is
Well,
the
no,
when is the Ishgardian Revolution happening?
Oh, they bring out the guillotine in the guillotine Emmerich. The last thing he says before he dies is let them eat Dodo Starlight turkey or whatever.
Dodo Starlight Turkey.
It's supposed to be a Marie Antoinette reference or something.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Oh,
was.
that's what it was. Oh, it was so okay. I see.
Was Dodo Starlight
Dodo, Starlight Dodo.
Bird? Starlight Dodo. There you go.
It's just a Starlight Dodo, yeah.
Yeah.
Dodos are their turkey.
Mm-hmm. You could have also
Yeah.
just said Dodo because Starlight Dodo is specifically for Starlight.
I know they have to eat that
That's
one
so
specifically.
weird. That Dodo is their Starlight food because Dodos don't live in Kurthus.
That's true.
They should have caracal or something.
Nothing about Starlight makes
Sheepy
any
people.
sense.
Don't think about it too much.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's really annoying.
sheep should be their
Yeah,
Starlight
mutton and-
meat,
Yeah.
meat of choice.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of dodos,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Eorzea has like infinite meat. I mean, they've got so much meat on them.
They
Cyrus
have
is huge.
infinite meat.
What do you
Like, every
mean?
creature's so big that if you killed one, you'd have like meat for the whole year.
That's fair.
Okay, that's true.
Animals are really big in Eorzea, and
Eorzea
they
has infinite
respawn
meats
really
everyone.
quickly. So
Yeah, animals just respawn.
That's
That's
true. But
canon.
even if they didn't, even if they like just bred naturally, you're gonna be able to. I mean, you can kill one of those mitro. What are they called?
Well,
The nannies and the billies.
Well, oh yeah, the
Myotricus and
yeah.
nannies and billies.
yeah,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
gonna last you ages.
That's true.
Oh,
They don't
man.
necessarily taste good though. Not all meat is good meat.
No.
Yeah, but I think they do eat our goat meat.
They do
That's
eat
one of the
algo.
top
Yeah,
shop.
they do. Obviously, because it's
Braised
just big
algo.
sheep goat.
Oh god.
Imagine having
Anyway,
to,
about
like-
the reworking of housing.
I want to talk
Oh,
more about
yeah.
the meats.
I want
I
to eat
mean-
behemoth jerky. Behemoth jerky.
I
I
Oh,
want to eat
behemoth.
behemoth jerky too.
Do you think behemoth tastes good?
Georgie said that like it's been a long time.
Yeah, this is finally someone said
No,
it.
no, because I
Yes.
wanted to say it, and then Rollo said it first. So I was
okay.
Behemoth jerky.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be jerky.
Why
I just
not
want to try
steak?
behemoth meat.
There's so much meat on him.
Why do you want
I
to?
know.
Okay, stop.
What?
Why do you want to eat behemoth meat?
Because it's
Big.
big.
They like big meat.
Don't we all? But it's weird. It's a weird reason to want to eat something. It's just
I
oh,
wanted
it's
to
so
eat
big. I
behemoth
want to
meat
eat it.
because it's purple.
What it-
Haven't
What
you
is-
ever looked at an elephant and wanted to eat one?
Yeah.
No, actually, I haven't.
No, I don't
Like
want
a
to eat
silverback
elephant.
gorilla and be like, I just.
I
just-
don't
I
want to
don't-
eat
I don't
gorilla.
think
That's
I
like
don't
eating
think I
one.
wanna
That's
eat it.
like eating
It
a
looks too
relative.
much like a human.
Yeah.
Eating
I
a
mean,
gorilla
like,
is like
I
eating
would-
like
I would
leather.
want to like hurt him, and I wouldn't want to do it myself.
Rolla, what are you saying?
What are you talking about?
Do I have to
Gorilla
cut
or
this out of the
behemoth?
YouTube video? What is
Yeah.
happening?
Gorilla.
Talking about eating gorilla, that's
No,
almost
no, no.
cannibalism.
Stop
That's
talking
borderline
about real animals.
cannibalism.
I want to keep
A
talking
Sasquatch.
about
But we
I
have
would eat a
Eorzean
Sasquatch.
animals.
we have gorillas in I almost said America instead of Eorzea. Eorzea.
We
That's
do
true.
have,
They
but
throw
they're called
school.
they're called Sasquatches. They're not.
Yeah,
They're not
Sasquatch.
called gorillas in that
Gorilla.
way.
Yeah.
Imagine if you slayed the worm of the burn.
Oh,
I
meat
don't-
on that.
I don't think that
Oh,
meat's
there's
good.
so much meat.
I think
You'd
that's
have
sloppy
terrible
meat.
meat.
I think that's like
Some worms
almost
taste
liquid.
good.
Hang on a second.
It's what I've been informed.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I ate a worm once.
I don't want to
think
be
it
here
tasted that good.
anymore.
I've
What?
never eaten a worm.
But
I was
some worms taste good.
Mine did not taste good.
Well,
They
It's
have
worms.
sloppy meat. Worm
do
is
have
sloppy
sloppy
meat.
meat.
It's like
very-
almost
This is-
liquid.
Oh.
I want to say that they'd be like grubs.
Oh fuck no!
Oh.
I don't want
I
to
don't
eat
want to
that.
eat the worm of the bird
I don't
anymore.
want.
You ever look at the fucking bugs and Lion King and be like, man,
Yeah, don't they look yummy?
Yeah, I want that kind of shit.
That's true. They do look yummy, and it
Why do you
disgusted
wanna eat
me
bugs?
as well. When I'm like,
I
what
don't
is
want to
wrong
eat
with
bugs.
me?
I'm just saying that there's
I
a
wanna-
lot of meat on that
I
worm.
want to eat I want to eat cartoon bugs,
Cartoon, yeah.
but that's impossible. You can't eat cartoon bugs.
I
you
want to eat
can't.
cartoon pizza as well, but I'll never have
Oh.
that either.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's true.
They always make it so cheesy.
What kind of meat? What Eorzean meat would I like to eat?
What are the big gators called?
Oh, I don't like
The
them. They have
one in,
split face.
Sarcophaguses.
The
The
split
Yeah,
face.
sarcophaguses are the crocs.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
The
Yes.
Yes, Georgie.
Yes,
To that he
Georgie.
says yes.
Yes.
because gator
Yo,
tastes
which-
good,
Yeah.
and I
Which-
assume a
No,
croc.
no, Georgie.
I don't.
Yes.
I don't think the fluffy ones would taste very nice, but I think the sarcophaguses would because they just look like alligators or
Yeah.
crocodiles.
I'll have a
Which are the ones
shabti.
that look like platypus? Are they the
I don't
crocs?
think you eat shabtis.
I want to eat the carrot man, Pharaoh Sirius.
Oh,
I feel
I
yeah,
don't
like
think you
they're
eat the
carrot.
carrot man either. I
Mm.
think it would be like eating like plasma.
Why would you eat a shabti? Are they the ones with the high heels?
Yeah, because I can take
Yeah,
the high
no,
heels
with
from
the
them and
high
wear them
heels.
when I'm done.
Do you think the high, no, but surely the high
I'll
heels are
hobble
made
away
of,
afterwards on high heels.
no, surely the high heels are made of meat too.
No, but you hollow them out.
Oh
they're
my
like,
god! Oh,
corn.
that's amazing! I'll be
Like
all the
corn.
rage at the parties. Like, oh, there's Lukeil and his fucking meat shoes. His
You'd be
meat
like Lady
heels.
Gaga.
Oh my!
I feel
I am
like-
Gaga. I'm the Gaga of Eorzea. Eorzean Gaga.
if you took a bite out of a gabu, do you think it'd be like a kiwi?
No,
Or
it
like a
would be
salad?
like eating soil, I think.
Goobers are
No, I
like-
think your
they're
fucking teeth would break.
they're plants.
Your teeth would
Yeah,
just shatter
but
if you tried to eat it. Eat
Goobers
them.
are plants. They taste like.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
their
so it could be
skin
like a
looks
kiwi.
hard. It's like elephant skin.
Okay,
Oh,
what
yeah,
if I cut
very-
into it and then like
What's
I eat the
wrong with
inside?
you?
Well, okay, what's wrong with me? He wants to wear fucking meat shoes.
I'm
Go
trying to hurt
West.
Goobus.
Don't hurt Goo
They're
Goo.
protected.
They're-
I'm gonna chomp on their ass.
But they have
Goobers are not
moss.
protected.
They
have-
are in my world.
they have
if any of you
moss
say
on the
anything, you're
back.
out of the PvP team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not eating the moss on their back.
What are you eating?
You're eating.
I would eat their ass.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's why I eat the ass. This podcast sucks.
You idiot.
Yeah, but chat's right. Goobers probably taste like Swedes, not the
Swedes?
peoples.
Like
Oh. What's a Swede?
No, like root vegetables.
I don't want this.
Oh,
I don't want this. I don't want
oh,
this.
you made him cry.
I think Gooboo's inside, it's like a beetroot, like the red beetroot.
This is
Oh, let's just try and forget what Lucio said.
Yeah,
I
move
think
on.
boo-boos are like kiwis.
No, we're making
Anyway,
up time because
Forest
this
Gump
question is
story.
not. No, the question is not going to last long enough. We need to keep talking
Yeah,
about.
believe it
No,
or
that's
not,
true,
this
we
is
do.
the topic we have. This is it.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Oh,
I didn't
12
think-
preserve me.
Okay, we can get back to the mong now.
No. I kind of want
Okay.
to talk about Aeosian meat.
Hey, why don't you just go for all the fish? They have lots of fish in Aorcia.
They have a
Lots
lot of
different
fish.
And
What's
that-
that one fish they made up at the?
That's what I was going to say. I want to eat that one.
The vegetarian,
Yeah.
the one that eats potatoes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, and there are
yeah,
lots
I
of
wanna-
vegetables. Vegetables.
Vegetables?
Vegetables.
What are vegetables?
I don't. I'm broken.
Oh, I would eat
Yeah.
Lalafell.
Remember how that one
No.
manga we got was talking about like lewdness, and we're just talking about eating ass.
I didn't mean it that way.
We
I
are.
meant-
He is.
Oh, I meant chopping the cheeks off.
Likil was the one that wanted to eat it.
Okay.
Anyway, alright, Forest Centauri.
Do you think it would grow back?
No.
No,
He's
I
a
don't think
plant.
so. Because the moss, well, I don't think so. Because the moss on their backs doesn't grow back. That's why.
Mm.
That's why the sylphs put the like carpet on it to
Mhm.
make them. Oh no, not the carpet because that's the
That's the legacy
that's the
one.
1.0 legacy thing. They put the wreath on it to make it feel pretty after it's been suffering.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sad.
What was the actual
Rework
question?
of housing.
Oh.
Rework of housing.
What? What? How did we end? How do we? Okay.
No, because we went. I can tell you exactly how.
No,
we got
don't
there.
do it. Just we'll get started again.
I started it too. I
Oh, what a
started the
big
chaos.
surprise! What
I'm
a
sorry.
surprise!
He wanted to
Uh,
talk about his Dodo Starlight turkey.
That's what it was. Yeah.
It was an offhand
Anyway.
joke. That's all.
Will there be a rework of housing?
How
There should
so?
be.
What do you mean rework? Do you mean like the getting a house?
Yeah. So like it'll be instanced. So
I
there'll be
think that
only
there will
one
be-
firmament.
No, I think there'll still be a traditional housing district in Ishgard because we've pretty much seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
'Cause
said
it'd
this
be
before.
weird
It could be the biggest ruse they've ever performed.
But it
If
could.
it's
They
not
could.
the housing.
They could do it so that make it so that each house is instanced though. So you just buy a plot and then that wouldn't work.
What, and it like
I don't
phases?
see how that would work.
Weird.
No,
That'd be weird. Just seeing people like on your doorstep trying to get
Yeah.
into their own
No,
house.
no,
but it's
it would
your
have
house.
like a phased section around it
A
where when you
phased,
walk
alright.
through.
Oh yeah, like
it'd be
stone
your
dividers.
No.
Oh.
It'd be real time.
Oh okay. Oh.
I could see instead of having an apartment building, they have like this other area of like private housing in like single housing like region where like you just go there. It's like similar to how the apartment system works or how the private room system works in FC housing, where you just like you click on the door and then like it says, "Do you want to go to this plot?"
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That could work.
That would be instead of an apartment system
Mm-hmm.
for the firmament.
Yeah.
Can you garden in it and can it be upgraded to a mansion?
There are
Oh, in
mansion
this-
slots, so
In your system, Yogi, because if you can
Yes,
do both,
ideally yes.
Yeah, that would
then
be
you
nice.
solved housing, and it was only,
Ideally yes, but I don't know if that would be the case.
I just don't think they're going to do it because we have an established housing system. So they would have to change all of it, and that's never going to happen. So
it would make housing worth less. Remember, Aortian housing is the most expensive virtual housing in the world.
I
Yeah.
know.
they kind of use it to
It
regulate
truly is
the
for the
guild vote.
bourgeoisie.
I think that's why they're so expensive.
well, the prices
I
have gone
think
down.
they
Well, they
should
have
bring
gone
them
down.
back up to the old
There's-
pricing.
Yeah, remember that legacy pricing was
No,
fucking
absolutely not.
awful. Yeah, we managed to get a house. I remember, like a medium house on our
Yeah.
legacy server. That was a lot of
farming
guild.
for housing back then was so awful.
Mhm. That was pretty bad. But hey, it was more rewarding when you actually got it, though. And also, back when we got the house, we got a house very early because we were lucky enough to have like a master crafter in our FC. But there were plenty of plots at that time.
Mhm.
But
There
then,
would still be a lot of plots if it was
yeah,
retained
because
that
of the
price.
extreme prices on Legacy Worlds.
Yeah,
But that was for Legacy Worlds, though.
that's true. But still,
Because-
I mean, small houses are only like 3 million now,
Yeah, 3.5. Isn't that like
which
the-
isn't a lot of money.
No, that's true. That's
So
true.
maybe a
Well, for
slight
people that don't
adjustment.
craft, it's a lot.
By the time you finish the main scenario quest, you'll
No.
have a few million under your belt.
Yeah.
Chat brought up a good point that's not really related to this question. Where is farming?
Yeah, where is farming?
It's the next patch.
Maybe that's something.
They've said
that-
nothing about farming.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's the next
That
patch.
maybe they'll show it off in the live letter.
Yeah,
'cause a
maybe
lot
they've
of-
been really coy. And
Yeah.
they're like, "Here's your farm."
the farming might farming be
God,
related
I hope
to like
it's like
Ishgard
Farmville.
Farmville.
I hope I can connect it to my Facebook, and then I'll find like a golden egg, and then it'll spam everyone with my golden egg. And if they click on golden egg, I'll get loads of rewards.
Ew.
Awful.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know about farming. Since they've not talked about it at all, though, they might have moved it. It might have been delayed.
You think that's just going to be like a vaporware feature?
Maybe.
Yes.
Like
Almost
vaporware.
oh wait, no, umbrellas are coming. Never mind.
Oh, that's even
Yeah,
worse.
we are getting umbrellas.
Umbrellas!
Yeah.
So intimidating.
Yeah.
They made it sound so scary. Umbrellas are coming.
Yeah.
Ah, I hope they give you like slow fall.
Oh, they'll probably show that in the live letter.
It's gonna be that really stilted animation, like I said.
Yeah, like
it's gonna be
stiff
just like the
upper
holding
body.
one. It's gonna be like
What I want.
Yeah, they said that was really difficult to implement, so I hope it. Hope
When
it
you
breaks.
move, you judder like you're on the lift in
Yeah,
Victorium.
yeah. That lift. The fact that they haven't fixed that is really.
Oh, I love that
strange.
they haven't.
Yeah, yeah.
I get a kick out of it every time.
Right. I guess that's the show for now. Because we're going to go into post-show after this, if you're watching live. Thank you for watching this episode of Speakers of Ireland. Remember to follow on Twitter, SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfIreland, youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, exclamation Discord in chat if you're watching live. To join our Discord server, if you're watching on demand, link is in the description. Stay tuned if you're watching live. Vote BeRt. And if you're watching live, post-show is about to begin. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.